I would like to just start by wishing a mazel tov to Mr. Gabe Solomon, who's the one that makes these videos accessible to the hundreds of people every single week, and gives these divrei Torah out with his sacrifice and mesiras nefesh to make sure Torah is disseminated in many people's memories and in many people's schosim. So for that, I'd just like to give a mazel tov on his 41st birthday. He and his special wife should continue to share much bracha and simchas together. I'd may have asked him till 120 years. In this week's Parshat Eikev, so as we darshan out, as we learn out, that Eikev could also be referring to those mitzvahs, to those positive commandments, or perhaps those averos, those negative things that we should not be doing, that we should not transgress, those that we tread upon in our heel, those that we trample upon. Meaning there are certain mitzvahs, there are certain commandments, the positive and the negative, things that we should do and things that we should not do, that stand out. You have to eat kosher. You have to keep Shabbos. You shall not steal. You shall not murder. And there are certain ones that stand out. And we know that these are extremely important and integral in fostering a proper connection to Hashem, to God. But yet over here the Torah tells us, V'hayim Eikev Tishmon, referring to those that we tread upon with our Eikev, with our heel, those that we look down upon, or maybe we just don't treat it with the proper respect. Those mitzvahs that we don't give ourselves. Let's take, for example, by many, keep it of a honoring one's father and mother. We take it for granted. If I feel that I should be showing them hakaras hatov, if I should be treating them with the proper respect, then I will. If I don't, not in the mood today, they answered me back not properly, they didn't give me what I felt I deserve, automatically our whole attitude towards them changes. That's just one small example of a commandment that perhaps we tread upon, and we trample upon, and we don't give it the proper dignity. Therein, says the Torah, lies the true struggle. By those bigger things, with each one on our own front lines and our own battlefront, those bigger things, in a way, it's easier. This is what we should do. This is what we should not do. But when it comes to the smaller things, is our major battle, is the major test. And Hashem and God sees, where do we really stand? I found it at Marsha. I found it in Marsha and Tainus, in the Gemara, in the tractate of Tainus, that says as follows. It says, Or zaru ala tzadik. The tzaddikim will have an or, will have a tremendous light. Uli yishrei leiv simcha, and for the yesharim, for those who are straight, leiv simcha, they're going to have a certain uli yishrei leiv, and those who are yesharim will have simcha, will have happiness. And according to one of the Rishonim, one of the commentators, they explain as follows: that for tzaddikim, they're going to have light. That means that they're going to have an eternal light. They're going to be something which is all spiritual in nature. Something that can't be defined, that can't be tangible at all. But yet, to the Yesharim, they're going to have simcha, which is, yes, spiritual in nature and deep and real, but there's a certain physical aspect to it all, a contentment. And the question is, which one's higher? And according to one of the commentators, the tzaddikim, is higher than Yesharim. Why is that? Yesharim are people that are straight, that are real. You can't get better than that. The Avos, our forefathers, are compared to Yesharim. Tzaddikim usually means that atot tzodek, as they say in Ivrit. You're correct, you're right. There was a fight, there was an issue, perhaps we fought it out in Bezdin, and he came out right, he was vindicated. But there was a struggle, there was a fight, he got a little dirty in the process. So what's better? Isn't it better to be totally straight than to be someone who fought and yet won? So the Marsha explains as follows. And this is the lesson I think the Torah is trying to give us over. Yes, sometimes it's easy to be that perfect, sincere, sitting in the corner type of individual who doesn't struggle as much. Certain things, he could be dealt with a few $1 million deal, and if he would just be a little bit unscrupulous, perhaps he'd get it. And many people have a tremendous desire and might try to do certain things to get to that. And very few people would not have such a struggle. But we all know there are those people that, for them, it wouldn't even make them mad. They don't bat an eyelash. Nah, it's not for me. I don't want to desire. Perhaps to look at things that are inappropriate. There are a few people that it just doesn't strike them as all. It's not a struggle for them at all. And if it comes to honoring their parents, it's just not a struggle. They're here. They're just good people all around. And that's just not their issue. That's not their battleground. And because that's the case, so they get a simcha. There's a certain sense of contentment. They definitely get reward. But it doesn't compare to those who have to struggle mightily. It doesn't come close to those Sheva Yipol Tzaddik v'kam, to those Tzaddikim who sometimes will fall, which is all of us, which will fall at different times, and we struggle and we fight back to get back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to get back to Hashem. Arzaru ala tzaddik. To the tzaddikim they have light, and the Marsha says because they fight their entire lives with the Yetzer Hara. It's a constant battle. It's a constant challenge. They'll get sullied. They'll get dirty. They'll get flack. But it's because they're constantly striving. Yes, in this world it might be difficult, but in the next, they'll be developing an eternal light that's far greater even than the tremendous idea and the tremendous concept of Simcha. So when we approach this Shabbos, let's realize, let's focus on those that we struggle with, those mitzvahs, those issues which are usually the smaller ones, quote unquote, seemingly insignificant ones, which we don't focus too much on, and we don't train ourselves as much. If we could pick one, and we say, Hashem, this is where I struggle. This is what I'm interested in focusing on. This is my fight. And I'm fighting this because I want to be connected closer to you, God. I want to make this better. Then it's Eikev Tishmon. If you're going to listen to those, that mitzvah, that struggle, and you're going to fight with it, then all the brachas that the Torah talks about will be showered in Mitzvah Hashem on our heads. Let's go for it. One small mitzvah at a time. Have a wonderful Shabbos.